welcome to Freeform Radio on the Freeform Network. You follow us on Twitter at FFR Podcast. And remember to send your questions and suggestions to ffnquestions@gmail.com. It's Freeform Radio. We're back on the air here. We got Danny.
Yes, sir. Feeling a lot better and back to my normal go.
Awesome, man. Glad you're back. And I don't want to say 100% because you're never at 100%, but
Right.
and then we got Noel.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Happy to be back.
And then it's all good, Andy. So we're here. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. By the time this dropped, it's been a couple weeks, but everybody had hope everybody had a great time with their family and their loved ones, and had enough turkey. I think everybody's turkeyed out. But that being said, we're gonna go to Danny now. Part of Thanksgiving here in America for our international listeners is the next day you go to shopping. It's Black Friday. I see Danny did some of that. Let us know how it went. What'd you end up buying, or you didn't buy, or what didn't you like?
Yeah, we really didn't buy a ton of stuff for Black Friday. I ended up picking up a few things. Alana picked up a few things. For me, mostly I got a few games. I got on Switch. Ended up getting Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening. For PlayStation, I ended up getting Horizon Part 2, and then I mentioned on the last podcast that I had gotten Ninja Turtles, so that was part of my Thanksgiving, pre-Thanksgiving Black Friday haul. And then I ended up getting like one or two other games that were like $10, but nothing too big time. I guess the other big purchase that I did is I bought a new controller for the Switch. I had this wired controller that I had been using that I found for like $10, and it was serviceable, but I had to always like hunch over because the cable wasn't long enough on my couch. And after gaming for like half an hour, my back would start hurting. So I saw a Black Friday deal for a wireless controller, so I ended up jumping on it and picked that up. But yeah, other than that, Alana picked up a few things too. A Carhartt hoodie. Um, she ended up getting a few things here and there, some makeup and whatnot. We got all our Christmas shopping done, so we got that done. I don't know if even you guys have even started looking at Christmas shopping yet.
Yeah, I did get a few things. I'm just still starting it out. Usually, I only get for my nephews, and my niece. So
Right.
I'm still shopping around for a few things.
You started off anything yet, Andy?
Yeah, I bought some stuff and did some shopping, Christmas shopping for a couple of things, mostly my wife. I bought something for my son, and then something for my mom and my sister. So just got to wrap up everything for some nieces and some friends.
Nice. But yeah, Black Friday, there were a ton of good deals, but I didn't really need anything. There was a ton of like um, TVs and even computers. Actually, Alana did get a computer. She got a new desktop. Her old one was giving her problems. She'd had it for like 2-3 years maybe. So, and then she had bought it, that the last one that she had refurbished. So, God knows what kind of condition it was when she got it. But yeah, she finally got a new one that hopefully will last her another 4 or 5 years, and we won't have to worry about it for a while. But yeah, kind of light. Usually, usually we go a little heavy for Black Friday. We go out and we hit the stores. This time we just stayed here, went online. The only store we went to was Walmart, but it was in the afternoon already. After we had gotten up, ate breakfast, we went out and saw what they had left as far as like pajamas for kids, the birthday gift or the Christmas gifts that we got. But nothing too crazy, man. Black Friday was kind of chill and relaxed, at least over here in the Corral household.
Yeah,
But
real
go ahead.
quick. Then we went to Thanksgiving, went to my mother's, and she lives about 45 minutes away. And we were driving back. We saw the stores like on Target and Walmart. And I was just like telling my wife, like, look, there's nobody waiting in line. Like those days are like long gone. And then remember the couple years where we're like, we're never gonna close on Thanksgiving and all that nonsense. Like, all these stores were closed, and it was just like, I think the pandemic kind of spearheaded all that, made those changes. But I think where you're waiting in line and like remember people waiting camping overnight for TVs and all this stuff, and people fighting over cheap electronics and stuff. I think those days are long gone, and I think people are more comfortable just going online and ordering it. The only thing I saw was like Menards. They usually have some decent stuff, but I didn't end up going. I had to do something over the weekend and get something from there, and they still had plenty of stuff left over from Black Friday, which they're like all these prices are going to be honored till like I think till today. So, and they didn't have a lot of stock, but everything that I was kind of interested, they had a couple things left.
Yeah, we went to Menards too after the fact, and we picked up like a dog bed and a couple toys,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Usually that stuff
there
used to
was
sell out
this.
quick.
Yeah, yeah. So we picked up a few odds and ends here there too. But yeah, you're kind of right. I mean, the earliest store we hit was Tractor Supply, and it was around maybe like 8 o'clock in the morning, which isn't terribly early for a Black Friday. And when we got there, there was three people that worked there at the store. They were like in the front by the registers. And when me and Alana walked in, the first thing that they were like, "Yay, we got customers!" And I was just like, "Wow, man, are we the first people to get here?" I mean, the store opened like at 6 or something. I'm like, "Has
Oh
nobody been
man,
here yet?" I'm like, "Jesus!"
that's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
But
probably like
again,
a
it's Tractor Supply, so I mean, I don't know how busy it technically gets, but it's kind of like a little niche store. But who
Well, what do
knows?
you
Who
get
knows if
there?
the stores were that
yeah
packed?
50
What do you
pound
get at a
bag of
store like
dog
that?
food or something. Then
No, no. I mean, they do have dog food. It's usually like dog food, horse food, chicken food, stuff like
hey,
that. Chicken coops, hay. They got stuff like that. It's like what a farm would typically go to. But what they had on sale was those Carhartt hoodies. They had them like 50% off or something. I forgot what it was. And so Alana picked one up for herself there. But yeah, yeah, not too busy on our half. I'm kind of curious if maybe like in the burbs, maybe that, like you said, Andy, the tendency to go out to the stores has kind of died down a little bit. But let's say you're more in the urban city atmosphere. Maybe you don't have internet. Maybe you don't even have a computer. Maybe you're still out there hunting and going for that $100 deal for a TV and running over a couple kids to try to get one.
no, I think I mean everything's on the phone, so it,
But
I
not
just
everybody
feel
has phones and
I
not
think
everybody
about
has smartphones and
99% has smartphones.
you think so?
I'm pretty
Wow.
sure. So if
Wow.
like look at the school during the Zoom, nobody you needed a laptop or desktop or a tablet or a phone, and everybody, no kid was crying that like we don't have a phone or they all had one of those three, and
No,
some of the
I
people we teach are lower income people, so this nonsense of everybody has a phone. You need it now. It's like if you don't have it, there's something wrong with you. Even poor people and the homeless people have phones.
I
I will say
saw
that, yeah, California, they actually get paid and they get a phone from the government.
like the homeless people, right? But
Yeah.
I saw here in the Chicagoland area all during the pandemic, there were news broadcasts. Now, I don't know, the news is the news nowadays, so God knows what was true. But I saw on plenty of occasions the struggle to get computers and to get internet into homes for kids that were homeschooling because of the pandemic. So I don't know if the percentage is that high. It might be high to your point, Andy, but I don't know if it's 99%. I doubt it. I think we have the luxury of having computers recording podcasts. A lot of people don't even have shit like this. They're at home and they're worrying about eating and keeping their heat going. They're not worrying about paying $100 internet bill to keep their internet going at 100 terabyte or whatever the highest. They're not worrying about stuff like that. They're worrying about other stuff.
Yeah,
So
but you're looking at it as from a perspective of like something in the 80s. This is now, it's a utility, to almost a utility where you need it. It ain't like it's an option to have it. Like the old days, everybody had a home phone. Today, I don't even know. I'd say less than half the population still has a home phone because they all got cellular phones. It is something you need to function in the modern world. If you don't have it, I mean, you get text messages for doctor stuff, and then you get emails.
right,
It's
right,
like it's not like a luxury thing no more. It's a necessity, and that's why they make it affordable. And a lot of people have it. Now, the plans like that you're talking about. That's a different thing. Like, yeah, I know they offer some basic stuff that the government issues to, like where they pay for it. I know Xfinity had some low income thing. That is a different thing, but I know there's some assistance where if you're on certain programs, they'll pay for all that. I mean, but it's basic stuff. It ain't like some like high end shit, but they'll get you going.
right. No, I get it. It is definitely a necessity, or more of a necessity now than it was in the 80s. But it's just like iPass. You can get iPass and it gives you a tremendous amount of convenience and an easier way because the world is set up for that. But you could still pay on your own. You don't need iPass. You yourself, you don't have iPass. So
Yeah, but
it's
ninety
there's
percent
these.
of businesses have them, and a
That's what I'm saying.
big
So
people. Yeah,
right,
that
I'm just
makes
saying to
it's
your
not a
I'm just saying
convenience;
to
it's a
your
necessity.
99%. I'm just saying to your
Okay,
99% comment
give
that
me
yeah.
2%, 5% off on that.
Right, right.
There's kids that have phones,
That's
and I mean, there's old people that they make phones for old people. It's not. I'm high on the percentage, but it is to the
Well, I'll
days
say
where people
this.
don't have it. Is to me, I find it like
They,
something's
they they
what's
might have
wrong.
phones, but not everyone knows how to use it. So maybe they have a phone. Like I have an old friend, family friend who's, he's almost he's up there in his 80s, and he has a phone. It's an Apple one, but he has no fucking clue how to use it. He knows how to make calls, but he's not gonna shop on BestBuy.com and get that Blu-ray deal. So he might still go to the store in person because he's an old guy. He doesn't want to learn the technology. He might have it, doesn't want to use it. Like you have a car that goes fast doesn't mean you're gonna go fast. It just has that ability. Some people want to just drive slow and cruise around, and
That's different from having it and what it can do. I mean, but the thing is, he has it now. If he wants to, like, I get it, but the 80% or the 80-year-old guy is not. For me, I'm pretty sure he's not going to be waiting in line for a Blu-ray player or a TV.
right,
no, probably not that.
right. I'd be curious to find maybe a nice article that we could talk about in the future. The percentage of Americans that are connected the way you kind of state. I think it is a higher number, but I don't think we're near 100% yet. I think there's still, I have family that are still in the not even middle class, they're lower class poverty level. And I have family members that don't even have a computer in their house. They don't have a computer because to them it's just like, dude, I'm struggling to pay my car bill, keep my kids fed, trying to stay safe out here in the hood. They're not worried about getting a computer so they could be able to online order a Blu-ray sale that's on for $10 a Blu-ray. They'll go to Best Buy if they really want that
Do they
deal.
have Jordans and cell phones
Probably,
and
but
pickup
they're
trucks
at the
of the
store.
2022s?
They're at the store buying it. They're not ordering online
Ah,
to get it.
because the Jordans are a
I'm just saying
priority.
I'd be curious to find out
I'm pretty
what
sure
the
it's up in the
percentage
upper
is.
90s. I'm pretty confident that. Well, I'll look it up and maybe in the next show I'll give an update. I'm
Yeah,
shocked if it won't be. It's not. I'm pretty sure it's in the 90s.
cool, cool. So yeah, we'll get back to you guys on that. The only other thing I wanted to kind of bring up is I got into the World Cup a little bit, man. I've been watching a couple soccer games, mostly because Junior. I'm not a soccer fan, and I didn't even want to become one. And I'm not saying I really, I'm not even saying that I'm really a soccer fan at this point, but it did kind of pique my interest a little bit, man. I watched a few games. It's definitely more boring than baseball. So these people that say baseball is boring, no, dude, soccer is boring. But there are moments where it's exciting. There's moments where it's exciting. To me, what I kind of to kind of give a parallel to me, soccer is kind of like a 0-0 score game on baseball. When it's a 0-0, there's either good defense going on, good pitching, stuff like that, which to me is exciting. I like watching that. I like watching a good no hitter, stuff like that. To me, that's exciting, watching the anticipation. Maybe those middle innings would be kind of a drag a little bit, but the start and the end where you got a no hitter going is exciting. And to me, I kind of see that as soccer. At the start, it's kind of exciting. You kind of see what kind of strategy they're playing out. The middle part where there's no scoring at all, boring. And then at the end where they're scrambling because they're like, oh shit, there's 5 minutes left. Let's just attack the goal as much as we can and try to score. That's exciting. But the middle part, the whole 40 minutes in the middle of nothing where it's just kicking the ball back and forth, to me, I don't get it. I don't know if it's a stamina thing. I'm assuming it is that because it's taxing to run up and down this field. But I've never played soccer. I don't watch enough of it, so I don't really know. But at least the World Cup games that I've watched, um, few have been super entertaining. Most have been okay, but a few have been terrible. Where I'm just like, I don't know who would want to watch this constantly. More like a background thing, like, all right, I'm gonna leave it in the background while I'm sweeping and mopping the floor, kind of stuff, maybe. But to sit there and watch it, I can't see that.
So I'm guessing you watched the U.S. Netherlands game that just happened this weekend. That's the game where.
No, actually, I didn't see that one. That was yesterday's.
Ah, okay.
But I did not watch that. But I watched the other U.S. game, and that one was kind of boring because
The
it ended up
Iran one.
0-0. It was the one that was 0-0, so I can't remember what team that
Yeah.
was. I think it was Iran because I think they ended up 0-0. But yeah, the other one that I watched was the one with Ronaldo. And that one was okay, exciting, just because every time Ronaldo would get it, everything would explode, kind of crazy. So that was kind of exciting. I was kind of hoping to watch one with that other big player, Mitchie or something with an M. There's another big soccer player that's the one that kicked the Mexican jersey, and now Canelo wants to beat the shit out of him.
What? Nah, man, it seems like you're all up in that World Cup, man. I
Oh,
don't
you
know.
didn't hear
I
about
haven't,
this?
I haven't watched. I mean, I watched a little bit of the Netherlands, U.S. Yesterday,
Uh huh.
and I was telling my wife like, yeah, I can't watch this shit. It's boring. And she's like, baseball's boring. I'm like, don't you say dumb stuff like that. And then,
Right.
and I was just like, that's because like my dad and my uncles weren't into it. I tried to watch it, and I was like, I'm like you, this shit's boring. And maybe I don't know the nuances of the game. I know either it's like a world game, but I'm not into it, and I don't know about that. All I know is when the World Cup is, I just like seeing how the people of Mexico go to the other countries, and you see all these videos pop up on social media, and it's just hilarious to me. That's probably the best part of it. The fans going over there and fucking with the people of the country they're at.
Yeah, I think this is probably the time to get into it if you're not a usual viewer. But yeah, we'll see. I'll watch a few other games and see if it keeps my interest into maybe where I watch it again next year. But let's switch over to Noel. Noel, why don't you tell us about your Black Friday shenanigans? How are your deals out there shopping in the hood or wherever you're at?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be one of those guys that proves Andy kind of right, where I don't want to go to the stores anymore, man.
All
So,
right.
yeah, I actually just did my online stuff. See, Amazon has like a lot of good deals, but I do compare. My parents brought me up to look for the deals, not just go one place and be like, all right, this is good enough. So I did compare the pricing. Walmart and Best Buy, they had some good deals on Blu-rays, the 4K UHDs. And then I saw Amazon was pretty much price matching it. So I was like, you know what? I already get my stuff through Amazon, 2 day shipping, all this stuff. So I'm like, let me just go on Amazon. And I have an Amazon card, which I do highly recommend to people that buy stuff regularly on Amazon, because an Amazon card will sometimes they'll give you special deals, and then sometimes they'll give you special financing. So if you buy something that's in the upwards of a couple $100, they're going to give you like 0% financing, equal payments for like a year. And that's like just standard. Like whenever you buy something over $50, they give you 0% 6 months. So you just make equal payments for 6 months. So if it's like $50, you're paying like $9 a month, 0% financing. So I love that. Like you don't need a special offer for like a credit card. You just use your Amazon card and you always get stuff through there. But anyway, long story short, I got a bunch of Blu-rays because, like I said, I got my PS5, and initially I bought it just for the 4K playability, but I ended up getting some games for it as well. I got Last Guardian, got Bloodborne, I got what's it called? Not Ico, but the Shadow of Colossus. I got
Yeah,
the Evil Dead for PS5 and God of War 3 for the PS4, which will play good on the PS5, I've heard.
right.
And there's a few games that I wanted to get that are like more exclusive. So Ghost of Tsushima was one of those. It's not available on PC yet, and it looks fantastic on PS5.
Hell yeah.
I was playing it a little bit, and I was like, wow.
With all the
Um,
leaves and all the stuff floating, man, that's awesome.
yeah, dude, and just the combat system, it reminds me of I played the Lord of the Ring game, Shadow of Mordor and well, I haven't beaten Shadow of War yet, but
Right.
it reminds me of that like similar concept. I just like the vibe, the samurai era and all that. That was really cool. I just started it though, so I don't really have much info to give on that. Just kind of started it off. But the Blu-rays I got, I mainly focused on horror. That's my genre. I did get a few of my favorite comic book movies. I got Justice League, the Snyder Cut, the new one, right? It's
Right.
like 3 hours long and shit, and it was much
Yeah.
better. Um, I
Did you
got
watch it, Noel? Or I'm sorry, real quick. Did you watch the Justice League Snyder cut?
So I watched it, but I watched it before I got the 4K. So now I'm gonna get it now that I got it in 4K, and it finally got to me. It finally got delivered. Most of my stuff got delivered just this week, just a couple days ago.
So did
So yeah,
you is the one that you watched is the 4K, and is it still full screen or is it widescreen?
that's a good point, man. I had to check it out. That was
Okay,
a
let
plan
me
is to,
know.
to check
Yeah.
it out. Yeah, next time I'll give you guys an update on that. I'm curious too, man. I heard most of the movies when they're 4K, you're gonna still see the bars. They're just not 16 by 9. They're whatever the hell ratio it is, but it's not. Most of them aren't 16 by 9.
Correct.
Yeah, I
Um,
got a few 4K movies, and they're all still widescreen.
yeah. And I even looked for a TV, not for now, but like for the future. I want to buy a TV that'll play it full screen that has that ratio, right? Just standard, whatever the screen needs to be. And it's really not out there, like not that I've seen. What people recommend is using a projector because a projector can show it the way it's supposed to be, and then you have the projector screen that'll show it, proportional. You can
Right.
get it to that size. So that's my next plan, but that's probably when I have my own house, because like I wouldn't want to have that set up here. It's a little too small for that. Uh, but yeah, that'll be interesting in the future. I'll keep you guys updated on that. And yeah, so I got a few 4K horror movies. Like I said, I got The Shining 4K. Got the sequel, Doctor Sleep. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's pretty good. Um,
No.
got the Evil Dead collection, dude. It was like $67, but normally it's like 100 or some shit like that. So that was pretty freaking cool. Like these box sets for 4K, man, they're pretty fucking good. Like the Shout Factory ones,
Oh
they
yeah.
they
Yeah.
they put a lot of effort into it,
Yep.
and it looks really cool. I
Yeah,
finally got to test.
after you were
Yeah,
talking about that Shout Factory last time, I wanted to get that Friday the 13th, and I checked it out, but I was just like, ah man, it's just too much. I can't buy this thing.
dude, it was one of those things where I got it at the right time, because even now on Black Friday, it was more expensive than when I
Yeah.
originally bought it.
I think I
Uh,
saw it on Black Friday on Amazon again or something.
It was what, like 80 or like
It was
90 something,
90
90.
something. I remember 90
Yeah,
plus.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I saw in some instances it was like 101 or something. Yeah, man, it's one of those things. I got it at the right time. I actually did test it out. Um, Jason Goes to Hell was the first ever Blu-ray I put into my PS5, and it looked fantastic. It looked great for being a Blu-ray. And then in the first two Friday the 13th in that box set that I got, those are actual 4K scans of the original. And when you put it in, and I still have my DVD collection, so I literally tested it one after another to see the difference. It is night and day, dude. It's worth it. It was worth the money, especially just because I'm a big Friday 13th fan. It's my favorite franchise. So, yeah, just a few other things I got. I got The Invisible Man. That was the new one, not the old one. I'm going to get the old movies, but I'm going to get them in a collection. But I got the new Invisible Man. I got Hereditary. Um, just some of those, newer movies that are going to look really good on 4K because it's just a you know, newer movie. So,
Some of those old movies pop too, like the Invisible Man. If you're talking about like the black and white ones,
hmm
those pop in 4K. Because I've seen um, Leaving Las Vegas, the Elvis movie, and dude, in 4K, man, that thing looks sweet. It looks really nice.
Oh, dang.
Wait,
All
leaving
right.
Las Vegas. The
That's Nicolas
or
Cage,
No,
correct?
Nicolas
not
Cage one
no
you're talking
Viva
about.
Las Vegas.
Oh,
Oh,
Viva,
Viva.
okay.
Oh,
Viva
okay. Yeah,
Las
yeah, yeah.
Vegas. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a good movie too. Man, I'm going to look into that. I might get some of them, but I want to kind of get it in a collection because I know they have like the Mummy, Frankenstein, all that
Right, right. I
stuff.
think it's that simple color that makes it look really pop in 4K because you see those edges really nice and it gets cleaned up really good. But a lot of those like 1970s movies, they clean up pretty well if they do a good 4K rendering of it.
Well, yeah, actually, one other example you just reminded me is I got Children of the Corn. So that
Okay.
was that was a '70s movie that I really loved as a kid. It creeped me the fuck out, fucking Malachi and all these fucking kids just murdering people. Like it was pretty creepy as a kid. I tested it out, and it's the 4K scan of the original. Man, it looked pretty freaking good, dude. Pretty
Right.
good.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that's those are the Blu-rays that I got. And they were a good deal ultimately. It was worth it. I was ready to splurge on just that. Like there wasn't really much else that I wanted to get. Um, yeah, but one other thing. So just recently I heard that well, it's been a while that it's been in effect, but just recently for me, I heard that I can get Paramount Plus for free because I'm a T-Mobile customer or like user,
For one
and
year, right?
right, but so my brother Saul, he's had it for 1 year and he renewed it and it worked again for a second year.
Really?
So
I
so
just bought
it's
it. I just bought mine for a year because my free T-Mobile just expired.
so I don't
But
know
they
if
had
you
some good
used a
Black Friday
different
deals on it.
maybe you used
Yeah,
like a different email or something. I don't know. I have to ask
yeah.
him now.
I did end up getting the Black Friday deal, which was like $24 for
Yeah.
our entire year. But I was doing the free T-Mobile for a year, but it finally expired on me. But you ended up getting it, Noel?
So yeah, I'm under a family plan with my brother Afrin, and so I told him about it, and it took a little convincing because he's not into like putting any kind of like effort to do that shit. But I told him like, hey man, all you got to do is click on this link, because initially he's like, no, it costs money, it's not free. So I sent him the link. I made it as easy as possible. I'm like, click on this link, like go into your email, follow the instructions, and then you go on the website, and then that's done. You're good. So anyway, long story short, he set it up finally, and I got an account for me. I got an account for my mom and an account for Efren, all under the same thing. And yeah, I've been checking out Tulsa King on Paramount Plus.
Yeah,
Man, it's
Lana's
a
watching that right
fucking
now.
right this second.
Yeah,
Nice.
right before I logged in, she's like, "Yeah, I gotta catch up on Tulsa King." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna go record."
Hell yeah, dude. No, it's a good show, man. I was pleasantly surprised because so I knew Sylvester Stallone was working on a bunch of stuff this year because I follow him on Instagram. Uh, and I've seen he's been working on a few things, projects, and one of those was Tulsa King. And when I saw he was doing Samaritan for Amazon, I'm like, that's the one I really care about watching because I'm into comic book stuff, and he was gonna be like a comic book superhero. And Tulsa King, it was kind of on the back burner. I was like, I'll watch it eventually, but I'm not too hyped to see it. Then it came out, and I watched the first episode. I got hooked like instantly. I was like, damn, like he plays a good mobster, man, like a good mafioso, you know. He's not Tony Soprano, that's for sure. That guy was unique, but he still has his own way of being like imposing and like intimidating in his own way, you know. Sylvester Stallone, for being a 75-year-old man, he still looks pretty like tough and pretty in shape. So it was cool to see. And then right off the first episode, he fucking holds up this like marijuana dispensary. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but like it's pretty cool, man. You guys gotta watch it. I think it's worth watching. It's on episode 4 this week. At the time this airs, it'll probably be episode 6, and I think there's only gonna be a 8 episode run or something, like 6 or 8 episodes, something like that. So definitely worth watching for those who are fans of Stallone or mafia movies, stuff like that.
Looks surprisingly funny. Like the previews or the trailers that I've seen, it looks like he's almost a joke maker, or like he's stuck back in the past, and he's kind of like what these people that I'm describing, like what's the internet kind of thing.
Exactly, yeah. It's perfect the way they play it off because I mean, I'm not really going to spoil it, but at the very start of the episode, he's in jail and he's getting released. He's been in jail since like 99. So he literally missed like all the technology that happened since then, like the internet, smartphones, even flip phones before that, right? Like he missed all of that. So to him, the most he probably knows is an ATM, maybe. But for him, he knows how to pay cash. He knows to, use the like a payphone and all that. So everything, his world has been turned upside down. He needs to have a debit card now. He needs to start, he needs to do a bunch of shit. And he's like, man, I don't know if I should. It's not really a spoiler, but it's a funny moment in one of the episodes where he tries to go to send something like through the mail. It's like a kind of like a FedEx, He goes to this place to send something through to ship it, and he wants to pay in cash, and the guy's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't accept cash." He's like, "What?" He's just like so shocked. He's like, "Yeah, you need like a debit card or something." He's like, they used to say the cash is king. You ever heard that? He's like, nah, I never heard that. He's just like, what the fuck? It's like a Gen Zer, So he's like, he has no idea. He's like, I know it's not your fault. It's not your rules, but what the fuck's going on with this world? Like, it is funny, dude, just seeing him struggle to like adapt to the modern age. He still has like this old school tactics, and he makes it work though. And he has kind of his comic relief. He gets this guy that he's like a recurring character in the episodes, and it's kind of like his comic relief. And it does have serious moments though. Like I don't want to make it seem like it's a comedy. It's really not. It's a dark comedy if anything. But he has his cool moments where he does fuck shit up. But so yeah, I mean that's pretty much my stuff. Shifting it over to Andy here. So yeah, man, it looks like everybody's been talking about Black Friday. What about yours, Andy? How's it been going?
Just kind of like you, I did a couple things online. I didn't really. I think I just went to Menards. Like that was it. Um, uh, just bought a lot of just physical meat. Bought a couple Blu-rays. I bought the Warcraft. Uh, it was on sale for $5. I've been wanting to watch that movie for a while, and I saw that. I bought that, and then I got Robot Jocks. It's an '80s movie about Shout Factory. Um, that is something that's been out for a while. It's out of print, and I purchased that recently, and I've been wanting to check that out. I got it in the mail yesterday. I kind of paid a premium for that one, but we'll see how it goes. I do want to see it. I was just thinking about it the other day, and I saw they released a Blu-ray, and I was like, why is this so expensive? Because they released it a couple years back, and it's out of print now. I know that I just bought a bunch of gifts. But like I said, it was kind of a lackluster. There were some deals, and they weren't. I guess I wasn't crazy about them as I used to be, and we talked about it in depth in this episode. But yeah, I mean, let us know what you guys, if you guys purchased anything at ffnquestions@gmail.com. Notice what you guys purchased is like I said, that's pretty much it. What I did on Black Friday is just a lot of on the app. The only thing that kind of intrigued me, I see Walmart. They have their little Prime knockoff or Walmart Plus, whatever it's called, and they were allowing people who have that early access to some of the Black Friday deals before they release them to everyone. So I kind of see that's what's probably gonna happen down the road. Uh, you're gonna have I don't know if Amazon. I mean, everybody. I'm pretty sure everybody got a lot Prime just about. But uh, I wonder if anybody, if Target's gonna start doing that, and some of the other big box retailers are gonna start doing that, where you gotta be some subscription based thing to get access to some of those early deals.
Yeah, Andy, I just wanted to intervene really quick. I Googled really quick while Noel was talking, but you're right. In 1918, the census, 92% of Americans have at least one computer, but only 85% have internet.
So there you go. I knew the internet. It's something different, but everybody has uh, the computer or a tablet, some type of electronic thing. But the internet is something different. But I know they brought down the price down a lot, or they help a lot with lower income people. Because if that was the case, you would have heard more about it during the pandemic and Zoom on the kids, how they can't afford it or they don't have it. I know there was a lot of programs that Xfinity did, and to help those people, the rural people might be a little bit different. But yeah, I did. I know here in Illinois, if you're like on any assistance like WIC, or they give you some type of free, or they pay a big chunk for your internet, and they pay for your phone too. I mean, if you're any of those type of assistance, you automatically get uh, that help.
Right, right.
But yeah, going back, I just bought a lot of physical media for myself. I think I kind of overdid it on the Blu-rays. It's been a while since I bought a lot, but I overdid it on that. And then, like I said, I bought some gifts, and
Any 4Ks? Because I mean, you got that a PlayStation 5
so
now.
yeah, so the World of Warcraft, it was a 4K Blu-ray disc. That was $5. Like I saw the movie a while back. I know people were shitting on it. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I watched like the first half hour, and I was just like, nah, I'm not
Yeah,
watching this.
yeah. People, I remember people were really shitting on it, and I'm like, it's not that bad. And I'm like, for $5, it's the 4K Blu-ray digital. I bought it. I bought the Robot Jocks, the Shout remastered it, which is got really great reviews. I don't know if you remember that, with robots fighting in the future.
It
Like,
sounds familiar, but I'd probably have to watch a trailer. I can't visualize it right now. The only thing that pops in my head is that motorcycle guy, the Jack. Fuck, what the name is that actor? He's in a robot movie where they go into like these robots and fight each other, and then they fight like these big beasts, like these Godzilla
nah,
animals and
they.
stuff.
So in the future, something I don't recall. I haven't watched this movie since like the early '90s, but they fight in these wastelands with robots built up by governments. Like the U.S. has a robot, and then the Russians have a robot, and like they just fight each other. And like the communist robots are black or something. The U.S. is white, and then they find out there's like a spy giving secrets to the evil people, and they try to decipher it. And like,
Pacific Rim, that's the one I was
yeah,
talking
it's
about.
kind of like that, but it's super 80s, dude. The
Right.
people, the lead actor is, if you remember, Alien Nation had the TV show.
All
Uh,
right.
That's the that guy, not the alien. The his partner is the lead actor in this movie.
Okay.
And then what about Fire in the Sky Blu-ray? That was another like special
Oh
release
man,
that they
that's
did.
scary, man. I used to hate watching that when I was a
Yeah,
kid, man.
they did a Blu-ray. The DVD went out of print years ago, and then they did a
Really?
Blu-ray a couple years back, like a limited run. So it was always super expensive. It was like $30. They had a special sale on Amazon. I think it was under 20. So I bought it. I gave in. I'm like, I don't know when the hell this is gonna go down in price. This is the cheapest I've ever seen it. If I don't even used was like $16, $18. So I'm like, I'll just get a new one. And then that's about it. Like I said, it was
It's not bad.
it's
I mean, those
for
are
the most
terrible
part.
movies, but you didn't. You made it sound like you bought like 50 of them or something.
Nah, man. I don't do that shit no more. But that was pretty much it. I know that I used to see like Noel talking about all that physical media, and I'm just like, yeah, like I just bought some of the stuff that are it wasn't crazily priced. It's something I really wanted for a while. I got them.
Yeah, the only 4Ks I bought was the Superman movie. I bought the original, um, the first one, the first Superman ever made. Well, not ever
The
made, but
Richard Donner one, yeah.
yeah. So I ended up buying that 4K because I saw it somewhere for $10, so I bought that.
Oh yeah, man, cool. Like I said, physical media is I'm seeing more and more people on YouTube getting rid of physical media because all the streaming platforms. But when I watch that, I see other stuff on people who just buy a bunch. And the other big thing is like Dollar Tree. They get like a lot of Blu-rays now. It used to be just they get a ton of DVDs. Now they get a lot of Blu-rays. And sometimes when you search for that, you find some decent Blu-rays for like a buck 25. And I was just like, fuck, man. So I go there like once a month just to see what's out there, and it's not too bad. But it's yeah, I try to control it. I try to get Blu-rays mostly now. Um, the other thing I got going on besides that is I don't know how much Noel might know more or you. You know about the Liver King scandal that just broke, right?
No, what is that?
So Noel's away for right now. Everybody, he's a little bit not feeling great, I guess, but he'll be back. Uh, Liver King is a social media guy who's like fucking jacked to the gills, and
Okay.
he hence the Liver King. Guess what? He eats a lot of raw liver,
Really?
and he has the 9 components of prehistoric living, like sleep, eating raw meats, sun. Like he has these things, and I mean, Dan, this guy is like fucking ripped, man. He is jacked. He's older. He's over 40, I believe.
Oh, okay. I see a picture of him. Yeah.
Yeah, and like Joe Rogan, they talked about him, like about his philosophy, and Joe Rogan looked at that motherfucker's juicing like he's doing steroids, and more people came out saying that he was doing steroids, and he always denied it, and he sells like supplements, vitamins to help his lifestyle, the prehistoric or whatever, like caveman lifestyle. You know about the Liver King, Noel?
Yeah, oh, I've been following that a little
Yeah,
bit. Not
Yeah,
too closely, but yeah, it's crazy.
it says his diet is liver, eggs, maple syrup, and tests. I don't know what the hell it is.
testicles.
Oh shit!
He eats
Damn.
balls, raw balls, dude.
Damn.
So yeah, but he's jacked, right? You're like, damn, this motherfucker's ripped, and he says,
So,
I've done
so
this all
quick
but through my
question:
lifestyle.
would you eat testicles if you could be that Jack Andy?
Nah, but I did hear, you know what Rocky Mountain oysters are?
No.
I've heard they're good. It's fried testicles.
Oh,
People
I don't
swear
know,
by
man.
that. They're awesome.
I think I'd rather stay with my gut than eat testicles and get jacked like that.
But it came out going back to him. You know, Joe Rogan made comments. Other people made comments like, "This guy's juicing. You know, he's doing all these steroids, and he's always denied. He's gone on a ton of podcasts, and he's always denied it. And and he's always maintained. And then I guess it came out, somebody emailed, uh, sent an email to a YouTuber who's also big into like lifestyle and like lifting, and he's always big a big proponent of like, oh, this guy's juicing, like that's not
Yeah,
normal the way he looks. And he got the
Derek, right?
emails, yeah, the plates equal
More
more
plates, more
dates, or
dates.
yeah, something like that. And he exposed the emails that he received. He was talking about how much steroids he was doing, and he needs to like go make it go faster because he's gonna be the face of his new supplements and his company and all this stuff. And he was talking about how much he spends a month on steroids, or something like $12,000 or $11,000. And then they asked him like how much he sleeps and what he does, and but basically in the email he admitted that he was juicing. And now I think this week I saw he released a video apologizing for him lying. So I wonder how that's going to impact his companies and all that other stuff. But yeah, you should check it out. I mean, like, to me, all this shit, the fucking internet, man, it's like once they decide you're fucking lying, they come after you hard. And I heard people were just like relentless trying to figure out what this guy was doing, because they're like, they made up their mind like this guy's juicing.
I mean, because how old is he? He's like
I
in
think
his
he's over
40s.
40, yeah.
Yeah.
And he,
It's hard to be that jacked at that point, you know?
yeah, and he admits it in the emails. Like, he's like, I'm over 40. It's harder for me. But the thing was, people are pissed because he was pushing his lifestyle and his supplements, and he's like, "This can be you if you do what I do." And people are like, they right away they started calling bullshit because he walks around with a backpack and he's taking pictures and shit, and he's like fucking got kettlebells, and he's like pulling a sleigh with all these weights and shit. Like, he's strong and athletic. Is just, I think people are just pissed that he's juicing.
Yeah, it's kind of common now. I think a lot of these infomercials, you can do all this, you can do all that, just do this and this, and some people get sued for that if your claims are incorrect.
Well, the did you ever see the documentary Bigger, Stronger, Faster about supplements?
No,
It's like not really regulated, and we could come out like Freeform Network, Vitamin fucking D, and we just go to some company, we slap our label, and like people like the iron pills and all, like we could create our own supplement and sell them, like, because it's like super unregulated.
right? Be
And
like, oh, this is good for arthritis. Take it.
like, yeah, like I can't get an erection, but this vitamin C D concoction gets me hard. Like, and then like there's nothing, people are gonna say, well, it doesn't work, but it's like you can't really, I don't know if you could get sued or what, but it's just like prove me wrong or something. And then if it does, you're just like, well, you just take it down.
Damn, Andy. I wish we had the shorts thing that you've been talking about now for a while, because that would have been an excellent clip where you're like, I can't get hard. I take vitamin C and D.
I might have to go. That was taken out of context.
Right.
I
But
do want to come out with a supplement brand one day. I'm actually working on something like that.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you just go to a company that makes them, and you just slap your label. I mean, I saw that documentary. I don't know if you guys ever saw it. It's an old one now, but it talks about how since he was a kid, he's the '80s movies. Everybody's fucking jacked, right? And then he found out people are taking supplements, and everybody had their own supplements, and he's just like, how the fuck is this possible? And he's like, I'm gonna create a supplement. He did it like rather quickly. Found the company. He got some business, and all they did was slap his label on it, and he was selling it like at these conventions or weightlifting things or something. And he was telling people like, or this is my brand, it's gonna work. And he started selling shit, and he was kind of shocked how quickly it happened.
Crazy.
But let us know, guys, what you guys think about that. If you take supplements, I mean, I'm a big proponent of it, of like vitamin supplements and some other stuff. But yeah, let us know, you guys, if you've taken anything at ffnquestions@gmail.com. But all this talk about supplements, and I know there was all this stuff going on during the pandemic, people claiming if you take certain things, it could prevent you from getting the coof and all that. But and one of the biggest proponents of coming against all that was Fauci, and uh, we're gonna go into our article week regarding Fauci. So we are pretty much. I know Dan's recovering. Fauci had a press conference. I think right before Thanksgiving, saying he's retiring. And I don't know if you guys saw this. You know, the president did an interview on, I believe, on 60 Minutes, saying it's the pandemic is over. Um, and I was thinking about, because COVID was somewhat on the rise, so I was looking into, like, let me see if the government still has free at home test. And then I went to the website. They're like, this thing is suspended because Congress didn't give us more money. So, but if you have insurance, you could get it. With that being said, the article says chaotic scenes at final Fauci White House press conference as yelling reporters drown out questions. And then Miss Jean Pierre has chastised reporters in the past for not respecting their colleagues during briefings. A chaotic scene erupted at Anthony Fauci's final press conference on Tuesday when a reporter began shouting over his colleagues and demanding that the White House press secretary take a question about the origins of COVID-19. Fauci, an outgoing director, has finished discussing, stepped back to wait for questions, and a number of journalists began shouting their queries. During one of the shoutings, the one reporter who is believed to be Diana Galbova of the Daily Caller can be heard asking questions about the origin, but she was not called on. And then that's when all hell broke down. Ms. Jean Pierre shuts down the shouting and began with not calling, and then they stopped calling on her. You should allow. Miss Jean Pierre goes, you should allow her to ask a question. She's asking a valid question to Dr. Fauci. And she just kept going, it's not your turn. And then it just went on from there. I saw the video. It just goes to show, I mean, whatever you think of Fauci, just the way he's leaving in a chaotic scene is just, I think, just spells how he handled the pandemic and his flip-flopping and blaming others when he's the highest paid government worker. But I don't know. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. What do you think of the article? What do you think? I don't know if you guys had a chance to see the video, but I did see it, and it got kind of crazy. And he was just like in the back, not saying anything, because the press secretary didn't let him. She just started.
She took over though.
She started yelling at the reporters. She was trying to get some control, some decorum. But I think the question now, I mean, it's pretty much, even in the intelligence community here in the United States, they did say that it's highly likely, like super likely, that COVID was created in the Wuhan lab and something happened that it got out.
Right.
And I think that's why and Fauci's always been, maybe not, he's always been like danced around it, because it came out that he gave some money for them to do some research through a third party and all this stuff. And it's always been like a gray area. That's what got Trump in trouble early on. And now it's just like, it's pretty much a lot of the Western world, Europe, believes that's what happened. So does the United States.
Yeah, the clip on the article, it's not the greatest, because it kind of starts, the clip starts right after the debacle happens. And I tried to scrub through the entire press conference, because I wasn't going to watch an hour and a half press conference of Fauci's final press conference. But I was trying to find what happened like right before this, like to hear the contents of the question. Did she really ask the question out of turn, or did she ask it but Fauci didn't want to answer it, so he's like, next? And the clip doesn't really show that, because the clip just shows the second reporter getting in their face and saying, well, answer her question on if it was in a lab or not. And then that's where the clip kind of starts. So yeah, I think most people believe, and I think rightfully it's true, that it was in a lab, dude. That shit happened in a lab. I think most conspiracy, people have been shouting that for forever. And I think now it finally came true. This is one of the things that conspiracy people got true.
Well, this guy got Trump in trouble early on, and I think he said I saw evidence pointing to that fact, and they started calling him a racist. And I remember Pelosi and them, and lo and behold, it like the narrative changed. Like, yeah, it did come out of there and stuff like that, and then
Well,
uh,
I don't find it hard to believe that people didn't believe what Trump says because the guy is just a pathological liar at
God
times. So,
damn man, shit.
so I mean, President Trump. My apologies. But yeah, I think most people, anything that guy could have said, he could have said, "I got the cure to cancer," and they would have just hated him anyways.
Like you stole it,
Yeah.
you racist. But yeah, like I've been in the podcast, if you listen to previous shows, like I'm not a big fan of Fauci early on. Like, okay, let's listen to this guy, and then it just got kind of weird, and then he started backtracking, and then he started changing. Like I don't know, it was just weird, and I like kind of lost faith in him. And then the whole vaccines thing started, and so it is what it is. I mean, you want to take them, take them. I I I I I don't know anymore. I don't know
I
what to believe.
I like
But
him.
you like them, yeah. Uh but going that, with the way this administration, um, I like that's probably the only thing that Biden says one thing and then the White House says another thing, and people got pissed at him for saying that. But I think people are ready to move on. And I was like, we have some home tests left, and I was just like, man, I should get more. Not that the winter's coming, because I mean, people are getting sick, but you're not really knowing because everybody got home test, or a lot of people are getting like a really bad cold or a flu, and then like it's gone after like a week. Um, I had something like that, earlier, like late October, and I took like multiple COVID tests, and they came back negative. And then I took some real medicine, like some Vicks or something, and felt better, and it went away after like 4 days.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion on testing frequently is like, what does it really change? If you're feeling sick, well, you just stay home, you know. But if you have COVID or not, I mean, does that mean you're gonna go to work because you don't have COVID, but you still feel sick? Like, I'm pretty
Well,
sure people at the office or wherever you work, they don't want to get your germs. They don't want to get sick.
that's another thing that's going on. People who do get COVID, they're not. I don't think there's really a rules. I don't know. Like after 5 days, you could come back with a mask. I mean, I really don't know what it is anymore. There's no real clear correction. I don't know if the CDC. I think the last time I checked, if you get COVID after 5 days, uh, wear a mask, you go back to work or something like that, right? If you test negative or something, I really don't remember. It's kind of like there's no clear direction. I feel.
Well, at my office, there's been two people that have tested positive for COVID. Throughout my time there, it's been just a couple months, but one of them got it when they came back from Europe, and she was gone for 5 days. When she came back, she didn't have a mask though, but she was already fine, and
So
she
you're like,
stays in
hey
her.
man, get a fucking mask, bitch. Get away from me.
Well, she stays in her office. I rarely, if ever, see her. So, and sometimes she's not even in the office. Like she'll be out and about. So, I didn't notice until like actually 2 weeks later. I noticed. Oh, you're back. Okay. I didn't say anything. Like we don't talk, right? I just remember that she was gone, and they made a little bit of an announcement. They're like, hey, just so everyone knows, she tested positive for COVID. Don't worry, we already wiped down the break room. We already cleaned everything. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. People are going to get sick. Sometimes it's not even COVID, it's just they're sick. And to me, it's like, stay away anyway. Like, you have sick days, use them, rest, recover, come back healthy. There's no need to come in the office coughing up a fucking storm, regardless if you have COVID or not.
Yeah, I think nowadays I think by next year it's going to become a little more normalized. But any kind of upper respiratory infection, you should really try to isolate best you can. Now, I don't know if you need to go COVID style isolation, but definitely if you're around people that are immune compromised, if you're around little children, if you're around elderly people, definitely if you're sick, you should try to stay isolated and away from everybody else.
Yeah, like I said, whatever you feel comfortable and whatever your job allows you to do, just do it. But getting back to the article with Fauci's press conference, like I said, I saw clips of it, and like he didn't really say much. People were speculating why he's leaving. I think he might have talked about he was going to leave now that the Republicans got the Congress. I think they might start some inquiries, and I think that's one of the reasons he's leaving. Um, he might be scared something might come up, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I think a lot of people, it got politicized early on, and I think a lot of people, it's like split down the middle. You either like him or you don't, and usually the left really likes Fauci, and the right doesn't, and I think he's somewhat to blame for that because uh, it didn't come up with a clear like directive compared to like with China, where they're stand zero COVID. So if you got COVID, they're fucking locking down that whole apartment building, and you saw what happened there, right? They have COVID lockdowns and they're fucking like boarding up doors and like welding shit, and there was a fire and people died. That's what started this whole protesting that's going on lately. That thing with Foxconn where they make Apple or the iPhones, they found out somebody had COVID. People tried to leave and they wouldn't leave because they knew they were going to be locked in there for a while. And it was that's why all of a sudden everybody's protesting because they're sick of it. And but at least you know what's going to happen there because they have a hard stance.
Right, right. Well,
Not praising.
I think at Foxconn they do other stuff, not just Apple stuff, but yeah, the majority of the Apple's built there, I believe.
They started rioting with whatever authority that the CCP has out there. They were like, you saw videos of it, and then people started the fire with that killed that whole that families at that apartment building. They couldn't leave, and people are like sick of it. And the rest of the world is like they're somewhat worried, but they're not. They're not as worried about it as the beginning.
I wonder what their mortality rate is over there with all this isolation that they're doing. I wonder if their mortality rate is almost nothing because they've really isolated the spread of it.
Well, I think I saw something on it earlier in the week that it spiked, and the lockdowns are not really working, but they have this hard stance of like zero, so they shut it down when someone tests positive. The mortality rate, I don't know. I don't think they ever released that. I just saw that it was really low cases, and then like it spiked the last couple like month or two, like everybody else, because winter's here. But their lockdowns are harsh, dude. They don't let you leave. People are complaining they can't even go to the store. They're starving. Nobody brings them anything because they leave them in the fucking they lock up the building.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, some of it's kind of hard to believe that stuff like that happens, but yeah, that's other governments. I mean, what can you do? You can't really do much from over here. We just hope that our government doesn't go nutso like that. But yeah, we got our own set of problems over here, I would assume, if you ask anybody. But I think that's about all the time we got, guys. We'd like to thank you all for listening. Remember to follow Freeform Network on Twitter at Freeform Network. Send in those questions and suggestions. What you guys get for Black Friday? You guys looking forward to Christmas? ffnquestions@gmail.com. Visit our webpage for all our links at freeformnetwork.podbean.com. There you're going to see all the good stuff that we got, all the hundreds of podcasts that we've released that you can listen to the back catalog. Some of those early ones are kind of rough with Andy, but they get better as we grow along. So
What?
take a listen, man, and hit subscribe and like on those episodes. We really appreciate it. It helps us out. But for Freeform Radio, we got Andy
It's all good, Andy. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you next time.
and we got Noel.
Thank you very much for listening, everybody. Hope you stay happy and healthy throughout this holiday season.
Yes, sir. And I'm Daniel. We'd like to thank you all for listening. And we will catch you all on the next one.
That was cool, Dad.